Hello, hello. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. I'm doing some advertising at the moment, so I will be with you in a second. I was checking a few things. I'm just advertising here and there in a few places. So maybe some people will join and be with us this evening. Okay? I think I did everything. Good. Okay, so I can briefly tell you where we left. Hello, Maui. I can briefly tell you where we left. So we were left to working on the skills and the stats for our character and trying to connect that to the database, ensuring that the database is sending us the right information, and at the same time building the window for skills in a way that is parametric enough, so that is say made of sub widgets, and every widget is building up our UI. Try to make it as parametric as possible for now, because I don't want to spend a lot of time designing a UI, at least now, but I want the functionality, let's say the data to be present in the client, so that maybe an artist can then take that data, working only on the blueprints, and change it, and change the layout, have a different layout. Yeah, so one thing we have to do for this, apart from this fatal error, I have no idea what it is. What we have to do is to just review the blueprint side of it, maybe add few printouts here and there, and see say which part of the process is working at the moment and which is not. But basically on the server side we have a function which is this one called get all ability by category, which is extracting all our abilities given a specific category. For example, magic is extracting say all the abilities that are defined in the database. The ability we defined yesterday here somewhere. We added a new table, yes, this new table, where we added the skills, actually the skill ranks for a specific rank. So we have that. We should check if this one is actually getting called. So let me add maybe just a printout on this function, because we want to ensure that it is getting called properly. Okay. And then I also want some debug on the client side, because also on the client at the moment I just created some code, but we're not really debugging much. I think I added the code in the construction event of the window, if I'm not wrong. Let me check. But at the moment is in the construction part. What we want to have two different events. One is the contraction of the window, where the window is setting up, let's say, all the different widgets, and another one is when is updating with a specific player value. Those are two separate events and two separate moments, let's say, in our process. So let me just check where we are. So the window is created, if you remember, by pressing N. So if you press N, this window pops up, right? And in this box, which is actually a scroll box, is putting horizontally all the skills that are received by the server. So I'm just checking what it's doing. Actually, in the construction of the window, right, is getting the player controller, okay, and is calling this request skills abilities. This is in the construction of the window. Maybe here we can place a printout just to be sure that something, that we are executing this part. So we can say here request skill ability, request skills abilities, and so this will run on the server with a specific ID, and it will call this function, which is receive skill abilities on the server, which is receive skill abilities, this one. So we will see also this printout if everything goes well. Then this one is passing as a return value, right? My TRA skill set is passing as a return value to this function, which is then called on the client. Okay? Right. Then on the client, maybe we can have another printout here just to be sure. But here we are request. We are receive skills on client. Okay, so we receive the skill on the client, and then we call this function, which is receive skill stats and data, which is actually back inside our window, our W window skills. And this one, okay, so I didn't connect this for some reason. Okay, this one is passing in the abilities that we receive from the server. We loop through each of the abilities, and the abilities are grouped by skill. So for each skill, you see that we break this element, and for each skill we create a new progress and stat widget, right? Which is basically one line, right? One line of my UI. Hello, Ahmed. Hello, Zwei. Hey guys. Thank you for subscribing, Harry Potter. So after we do this, we go here and we set up, let's say, the progress skill widget. Yes, we have a function that is setting up our widget based on the data that is coming in, right? And then we add it as a child and everything else. So but for now, what we want to test that it works is this piece, right? This is the piece that we want to test if it works properly. So let me save this, and also I would like to do it with the editor closed. Player controller with some changes. Okay, let's compile and save, and let's close this one. Okay, so with the editor closed, we deleted 2 DLLs for PS Unreal, so we are sure that we are getting, say, the latest version of the code. Okay, so it recompiled properly. Now let's launch the server side. Yeah, he asked me to recompile, which is okay. He has to recompile the 2 DLLs because we are launching our server through the Unreal editor, and so there is an additional DLL which is created all the time, which is a bridge between the Unreal editor and our project. I don't know exactly why that is not embedded into our project DLLs, but it's fine. We just have to wait a few seconds more to have it compile. Okay, the server is starting. It's loading a bunch of stuff, and it's also loading our skills, because we added in the preload function the fact that it's loading all the skills and the abilities that we have in the database. So they should be done already. Now, we launch the client and see what happens when we press N. We should see our UI with, I don't know the data, because some data I think I'm still missing, but I think that like the description at the moment of the skill is not there, so you will see you will see a number instead of the skill. Okay, so I pressed N, but for some reason I didn't populate anything. Okay, let me check what it did. So let's see on the client side. On the client side is saying receive skills on client. So this one seems to work okay. Then it's looping and it's creating new skill 0. Why always the same one? Creating new skill 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. This is not good. So seems that is not. Maybe what we should do, we should debug the server side and see. On the server side, we get a request skills abilities, yes, and then we get a receive skills abilities player controller base. Okay, nothing else. So it seems that our skills are not populated the right way, right? Because you see this new skill 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 doesn't seem that is good. So it's not changing. It's not changing the structure. It's not loading the structure the proper way. Now maybe let's do something. Let's launch the server in debug mode. So at least the server piece, which is this one, get all abilities by category, is actually yes, is actually something that we can debug. This one is under cache manager, and is giving us this one as a return. Okay, wait a second. I think there is a piece of the logic that is missing. There is a piece of the logic that is missing here, because here we are returning. Okay, this is the first call, right? This is the first call where we are just populating the skills. Okay, this one should be okay. Maybe we can put a breakpoint here and see what this contains when we launch it. Okay. Because again, we have two separate events. One which is populating all the skills, and another one which is populating the values that I have for my character, right? At the moment we are at the step 1, so we are still trying to populate properly with the new structure that we got. I'm just a bit surprised that, let me just think to something, because the first call is definitely these receive skills abilities, right? Which goes into this get all abilities by category. So this one should return my array skill set, yes, which is the one. Let me just look at the editor, because I think there is some flaw in the logic. I think I did two different things for the skills and for the values, and I don't know if I'm mixing the two. Let me check. I may be mixing the two. at the moment. So I'm launching the editor to see if I'm getting the right structure here. So in the onCreate of this window, right, in the event construct of this window, I'm requesting the skills abilities. Okay. No, I think that's the problem, that I mixed it up the two, because here here I'm requesting the skill abilities. Okay, the skill abilities is receiving. I know, I'm doing both. I'm doing both because I'm receiving this and then I'm going back to the client and getting also the data. Okay. Okay, receive, because this one is calling this, which is returning my value. Yes, this should be an array of skill set structures. An array of skill set, which is correct, is this one, is an array of skill set, as we see in the code. So it's okay. When we receive this array of skill set, we pass it here to the window, assuming that this window is valid, but I think it is, because actually he did the loop, so he added the lines. So he created new widget for each. What he didn't do, he didn't add any meaningful data into it, so it was looking like our progress widget. It was always agility 24, which, by the way, agility 24 is just the, it's just the default text, so it was not setting actually any text in this, which is strange. So it was executing this for sure, because it was creating this window, and then after this is getting the skill set of a specific skill ID, and here it was printing something like skill ID 0, right? So the skill ID was always 0, which is strange. And here is doing the setup of this widget, right? Yes, this widget, this new widget with this data. So at least the skill ID and the skill description we should have been able to see inside this progress widget, right? Oh, actually, by the way, these two are not connected. Skill ID and skill descriptions are actually not connected to my... okay, well, this I didn't set anywhere, so we should get the text. What is the text of this window? So here I'm inside progress, skill and stats. Yes, correct. I'm inside this one. This text, I didn't do it yet. This is not done yet. So this is why we have to do it. So this is txt skill description, okay, and this txt skill description should become a variable, and we should be able to get it here. Do a get and then do a set text of this, and for now we'll keep it very simple. We just want to see that the logic is working, then we will make it more nice and beautiful in the future. Yes, it was printing 0 because you see we didn't connect this to this. Creating new skill, so we can set the text, and the text can be for now my description, right? Even if we know that at the moment we just plugged into the description the same skill ID, okay, because we don't have a description, but it's fine. So we should at least see a number, right? And this text should be the description and then the rank, right? So maybe I can do something like append, and I can do my description first, then after the description I can place a space and kind of a dash, and then I can say rank, right? And rank actually will have to be populated later on in the second pass, right? Yes, so for now let's just leave it as this. We will have to be populated next, not now. So let's do this and let's put it into the set text. So we set the text. Then the other thing that we want to do, we want to create a progress rank widget. What I've seen of this one, that it was not really working properly for some reason. I'm double checking if the add child is not here. Okay, because we had another parameter here that we are not using now, so that's why I was not adding as a child. Okay, fine. So I think it's okay now. It was not adding it as a child of the window. We will have to do more stuff, okay? But I just want to see if the basics works. Then we will have to do more stuff in here. One thing that we are doing here, we are saving our progress bar to be, we are saving the progress bar connected to a specific skill, so that we can then later on retrieve it and set the value. Okay. I'm just thinking that this is not correct though, because we should not have a pointer to the progress bar. We should have a pointer, because the progress bar, okay, we want to update, but the progress bar is just one of the many pieces. So actually this one, this progress bar skill ID is really not correct. It should be should not be on the rank, right? Interesting thing. I think it should be on the father. Should be on the father widget, which is for us the stat and skills window. I think we should keep a reference to all the windows. Yeah, but actually we have it, because if we do get child, we have them all. I just wanted to have it by skill. By skill I want it, because then I want to search by skill. So I think that here, when we are creating the skill stats widget, which is basically one line of our page, so it's one line. When we are creating this line, I would like also to set my window. Yeah, I think I will. I have to do it here. I have to do it here. I want to set a new variable, which is actually called skill ID mapping. It's called skill ID mapping, and this one should be a T-map, which takes an integer on one side and takes it takes a widget as an input, the progress skill. Yes, progress skill and stats. So this way we can save the relationship between our skill and the window that is managing it. So later on, what we could do, we could just use this mapping to extract it and set the data. I think that's what I want to do. I don't know if it will work, but it is the idea. So if I do a get of this and then I add a new element, and this new element will be will be something like this new element. For this new element, I need the skill ID for sure, and I need a pointer to the window that I just created. This one, right? So this one will keep a reference by skill ID, so which would be easy to search later on, or which is the widget that is managing that particular skill. So when we level up, you know, when we rank up, we just send a message from the server saying, hey, skill sword, which is skill number, I don't know, 1, leveled up by 2 points, right? And so what we can do, we can just use this mapping here to quickly find out which is the widget that is managing, that is displaying that skill, and update it. Okay, so that's the point. I think it's I think I don't need the other one. I'm leaving the other one for now, the progress bar, but I don't think I would use it. Okay, yes, because I have the client open. So now the printout should be okay. Let me close the server. Let me stop the server. We didn't change anything on the code, so it's on the server side code, let's say. So I think that it's fine. Let's see what it does now, okay? Let's try to compile and save it. So what I'm expecting to get at least the widget populated, and I will not have any rank yet. I will not have any well, I will have my ranks. Yes, I will have the 20, 40, 60, 80 that I'm expecting to get. Well, I'm not using the name of the skill as an input to my setup. I think I should. I mean, why not? I could, because I have the name. This name is actually valid. This name is actually correct. Probably also the description is. Skill ability. But there is the name of the ability. It's not the name of the skill. What is the name of the ability? The name of the ability is Blue Wary on 3. Okay. No. That name is something else. That name is something else. It's not something that we want at the moment. We will want it. We will use this later on, but not now. No, the name of the skill I think we need to add. In addition to the skill ID, this function should take also the skill name, so we can populate the window properly. I don't know if you want to do it now, but no, I will do it slightly later after we complete this test. Okay, let's test it again. Yeah, the problem is there are a lot of steps, you know, to do what we want to do, because it seems to be an easy problem, but in reality it's not, because our structure of data is pretty complex, and also we have multiple layers. We have the abilities, we have the skills, then we have the ability based on the skill ranks connected to the skills, and then we have the player values of what he has today. Okay? So there are actually 3 layers of information that we are trying to put together into a single screen. Okay, so we get the ID proper because there is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 are actually the 6 ways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Are the 6 ways. This we get proper. We don't get the rank, but we know because we didn't populate it. What we get correctly as well is the number of the rank, so 20, 40, 60, 80, which is the points where something will happen. If I click on it, I get here some information, but okay, just the level, just the number that I created. So okay, so the population of this seems to work okay, and it's taking the right data. If I go in the database and I change these numbers, you will see these numbers changing. Right? So it's already getting the right data. This window should have a background because like this is unreadable. We should put the same background if we can on the other windows. Okay, so it is good. Now the next cycle should be to get the player's value on this, right? To get the player's value. So let's do a few things. Let's add first of all the skill name, because I think the skill name is pretty relevant for us, right? So we want to have a skill name. To add the skill name, what is the best and easy way? I think we should add it here to this progress widget, which is called by this function, which is called, which is when we are loading up, I think it's here, when we are loading up the abilities, which is here at the beginning. We are not extracting the name of the skill at the moment. We are not extracting it. In this select, we are not taking the name of the skill. Do we have a way to simply get the name from the skill? Let me check if I have, where I'm here, I'm selecting, no, because here we don't have the, I don't know, I think because in cache manager, I think in our cache manager, which is the basically the class that holds all the data, I think we definitely have, yes, preload skills, and skills for sure are named. Now the question is if I can get, yes, you see, so the skill is actually set with his name and his skill ID and everything else. Now, do I have a function that returns the name from an ID? Should have. What is populating? This thing is populating our skill info ID hash. There it is. New skill ID, new skill. Okay, so, and it is going to search by name. So if I get this one, if I get this skill info ID hash, I should be able to get the name. Pretty simple. Get skill by name. No, I want to get skill by ID. There it is. Get skill by ID is returning the full skill. Okay, it's fine. We can get the get skill by ID. I think it's okay. Is in memory anyway, so we are not hitting the database for that. We're just so I think it's fine. So when we add in our skill set the skill ID, I also would like to add in my skill set the name. At the moment, skill set is super simple. Is ID and the skills that are related to that, the abilities that are related to that. Why I didn't call these abilities actually? Because I think it would be much less confusing if I call these abilities. I think I should. Meaning changing quite a bit of the code, but because these are the abilities related to the skills. These are not the skills, right? Let's change it. Let's change it to abilities. So here we have an f string, which will be our skill name, and then here we have the abilities associated to that skill. Okay, so this is how we want our skill set to work. Now, this change, unfortunately, since I changed this, is going to break a few things, but I think it's fine. You can let me recompile. Let me recompile hot reload so that we also have the editor updated. Okay, so our editor will be updated based on this. So all of this will change. This box here will break, right? And it will be new, and we will do the new connection. But I have a better feeling on calling it abilities instead of. Actually, now that you make me think about it, it should be called also ability set and not skill set. But anyway, because the skill set is a bit misleading. Skill ability, or maybe skill ability set, but skill set seems there is a list of skills, but it's not a list of skills, it's a list of ability associated to a specific skill. So, yeah, the name is not, the name we use here is really not great. Okay, so you see now the code is breaking in few places, but it's fine. So this skillset.skill doesn't exist anymore, so is skills.abilities. And when I add here a new skill, in reality, let me just name it proper. Let me name it new ability, so that all of this is named new ability. Yeah, because I don't like that. I don't like it to be called in a way that is not proper. Current skill is correct because it is the actual skill, it's not the ability. So the rest I think is fine. Yeah, just this skill set. They should be called or skill ability set or directly F ability set. But let's do one change at a time. I don't want to change too much. That then is not possible. Then I'm losing myself. Yeah? But let's keep it like this, and let's see in the editor how many changes we need to do. You heard the blip. That's the editor updating itself. So now here in the editor we should have a few things that are different. In particular, I should have a name when I break. No, it's at the higher level. It's not here. It's here. I should have somewhere. It didn't change. I think. Yeah, I think he messed up. We cannot do it. Maybe it's too big of a change. You cannot do it. Because you see that it says hot reloaded skill set 0 structures. I think it's messing up a bit. Let's see if we can recover it. Request skill data, because this one, so the function itself is still okay. Maybe I can just recompile also that, because it's I wanted to do it on the fly, but skill set is fine. The only difference is that inside skill set, yeah, let me just close it and recompile it clean, because I think otherwise I'm making things harder than they are, you know. Trying to, I think if you change some of the basic class, you rename some of those classes, is getting confused. It's getting very confused. So it's fine. I mean, we can just recompile it and also delete the DLLs like I did of the editor and recompile the editor bridge class, which is completely fine with me. And let's launch this and see what it does. This part anyway is very important because it's the connection of the skills between our server and the client. So the ability to display our skills properly on screen, I think, is a big piece of what we need. Also for the first demo, I think will be very nice to have, so that people can actually do a quest, maybe increase one of their skills a bit, go to the skills window and see that it increased, or maybe they can create a character and then from the character creation load into the game and see the stats that the character creation has given to them. So I think is an important piece. And also is a very fundamental piece, right? Because basically our game is made of stats and skills for the most part. When you are doing combat, when you're casting spells, whatever you are doing, you are, yeah, you see here there are some errors already, but it's normal that we are expecting errors. Okay, so now this one is correct. Yes, it's not named skills anymore, it's named abilities, as you see. So this is correct. This skill data, maybe we can call it ability data as well, just to avoid confusing ourselves. Ability data, and there is a skill ability array, yes. So I don't confuse myself, because I think I confused myself a bit when I did that. So having different names. Couldn't find, what is saying? Could not find a pin for the parameter skill data of setup of a skill widget. I think I have to recall this thing. Setup progress. Let me try to redo it. Maybe it's yeah, it's messing up a bit. Let's mess it up a bit. So target goes here. Skill ID comes from here and goes there. Skill description goes there. Player rank we don't have, and skill data is connected here. Why is it called setup? Didn't I just rename it to ability data? Why still sees skill data? I don't know, I'm going back and forth between these two, but okay, I think I connected everything. Okay, now it worked for some reason. We just have to maybe fork this because it's becoming very, very messy. So there are so many of these targets, that it's probably better if we, so this goes here, and then content, what is content? Content is my widget, yes, this goes here, and then it goes also, oops, I did it wrong, okay, it goes also there. Okay, so there is a bit, why I still have this line? I still have one line somewhere. I mean, I don't want it twice, I want only one time. Okay, so it is a bit more organized. What do you think? It's a bit more organized. So there are a few less lines going through. Maybe we can also do this. Is it better? No, probably not. Okay, one can go straight and the other can go up. Don't like it too much. I think each should have his own It should have its own thing. And then it's clear, you know. If you have one line only that is bringing the data, and then each window, each box is taking from that line. Yeah, I think it like this is probably clear, more clear. Okay, so we do this. So now we rename this, but now we should have also a skill name. There it is. So skill name we can put in skill description and remove this thing that we did, which was not good. We can in the setup now. So we compiled this. In the setup, we can finally use our skill description, which now we are using. Okay, we are putting it here with the rank and everything. Okay, nice, nice, and we are creating new skills. Maybe just to be sure that our data is correct. What about changing the numbers slightly so they are not all the same? Because imagine that there is something messed up in our code and we think is correct, but it's not correct. So let me make it, let's say 21, 41, 61, 81. Okay, just to be sure that we are getting different numbers. And then I don't know, this one can stay the same, and then the next one is changing to 22, 42, 62, 82. Okay, so we just change a few so we see if our code is working properly. And this one will become 23, 43, 63, 83. Oops, 63, 83. So if there is any bug like I'm repeating the data or something, we will see it. Okay, and I left a few in the old with the old numbers, but I think it's okay. Now I would like to store into this widget the description as well, right? Because I would like to, like, we have all this data which is like this, for example, a description. I would like to show it here when you click on something, stat ID, rank and icon. I would like to pass the description, and the description to be displayed on the right side. Now on the right side of what? On the right side of the main window. So my project skill stat, I need to save this inside my rank widget. Inside my rank widget. I think it's the only way. So it should be a parameter that arrives from here, the description. Because this is not enough. Skill stat ID, rank, and icon is not what we need, only what we need. So the rank is fine, but we want also the description into this thing. How are we setting this up? I don't remember where the stat ID, where is it going? Set stat ID on the progress rank widget. Okay, I have it on the rank widget. So let's go on the rank widget and let's extend. And let's extend with one additional parameter, which we don't have at the moment. We have skill ID. Let's add ability description. I don't know why I call it skill, by the way, because skill stats ID. Okay, let's call it ability description. Okay, ability description. This one should be visible and should be an F string, right? Okay. And this one is the one that I want to pass in the creation, right? So when this thing is created, why I have this rank click dispatcher here? I have no idea. Rank click dispatcher, yes, perfect. This one should have an additional parameter which is called ability description. And should be a string, and I want it at the second place, or is the same? Well, I don't know. I want it at the second place. Okay, so if I move it here, does it move the pin as well? Wow, that's so cool. So we need to get our ability description and set it here. Let me try to reorganize it in a way that it looks better if we can. So. Okay. Maybe something like this. Okay. Now we have to fill out. We have to fill up this ability description though. When we are creating our object, we need to fill this up. So how do we do it? Well, when we call this, when we create the progress rank, I think in the creation we are setting that. So like we are setting the skill stat ID, exactly. Like we are setting this. We also need to set. We set the icon ID. We set this. We set that. Okay, fine. We also need to set, and I will place it here. The ability something, the ability description, right? Okay, so we set the ability description as well, and this one we need same target. The ability description, we take it from where? We take it from our skill description. No. Skill description is the other one. I want to take it from here. This is the description of our ability, our specific ability. Yes. So I want to take it from here. Actually, I want to take it from here, and what? It's annoying. And what? So we give the description, but we also want, I guess, the name. I don't remember what we have into name. Name and description. So the name, okay, so the name is Crystal Way Realm 2, and the description is the power of the crystal, blah blah blah. Okay, so I think we want to print both. Do we need to populate also the name then? Oh my god. I think we need, okay, let's go with the description now. I think we will have to do the name as well. So we have to add another variable and do all the run around, you know? All the run around again. And when you click on this dispatcher, this one will have the same thing. We'll have the new ability description, which will be a string, and this one will be up will be connected like this, right? Do we have another dispatcher out of this one? I think we do. No, we don't. Okay, it is the last dispatcher, right? Call skill click dispatcher, which is this one. Okay, and I don't remember, I'm a bit lost on what happens when I click that, but I see. Okay, I get my ability description here. So when I have my ability description, I want to set the text. So let's just put it in. Let's just put it at the bottom for now. Okay, just as an example. Okay, so we will have our description on the right side. Okay, we'll have our description on the right side. Yes. Okay, so the cycle is completed. Okay. It's not that easy. I mean, it seems easy. I mean, it's an easy concept, but it's not that easy to do with all the blueprints and all the stuff that is going on. But it's very cool. I really like programming with blueprints. It's very fun. Hello Soup, hello Tua. How are you guys? What's up? Okay, so let's say that we compile and save this. Compile and save this. Compile and save this. We are getting the data correctly, so I don't think I should run server in debug mode. I just want to see the result. I wanted to place a background to that window. Yeah, I wanted to place a background to that window really. That window, well, each widget has its own background, which at the moment is completely blank. Completely blank, so everything is transparent. Now I don't know exactly how the other windows are setting the background, right? For now I think if we can just do we need to add a panel. I think I need to add a panel. I cannot just set the canvas because the canvas I think doesn't exist. I mean, the canvas is just a container, but it's not really having a background, right? So if I want this thing to have a background, I think I need to add a new panel, I think. Or is there the color of the canvas? I don't see it. Panel, there is overlay, allows it to be stacked on top of each other, is simple flow and content line. No, I want just the background. How do you add a background to this thing? Do I need to have an overlay or something else? Because my horizontal box, I don't know if he has. Let me just add a grid panel just for fun and see if he has a color. There is behavior, but I think we really need to add a panel of some kind. But okay, let's log in. Let's see what happens. We will do the background later. If you know how to do it, tell me. So we speed up. Okay. I just made it a bit bigger so you can see it. Okay, so we press N and what happens? Okay. 20, 40, 60, 80, 21. Okay, so the numbers are correct. So it's taking the right data. Now when I click on this, I should get, yes, I get the power of the cluster. Problem is that it's not wrapping the text in the box, but okay, but at least it's getting the right description, right? It's getting the right description. You reach the maximum power. Okay, so the data is read properly. We just need now to know yeah, we just need to make this having a background, but also we need to know what is the rank of our character. Why is not populating the name of the skill? I thought I did that, right? The name of the skill in the top left. I think we did here. We did set target skill description, which goes here, and where this is coming from? Maybe I didn't connect it or something. They should be coming from here. Setup skill widget. No, we did it. Skill name. Is skill name empty? Should not be empty. I mean, skill name is why is empty if I get did I populate it or did I just add it and I didn't populate it? Huh? Typical mistake. I added it and I didn't set it. Skill ID. Yeah, I didn't set it at all. Okay, so this will be skill name, skill set.skill name. We need to get that function that I was speaking before, which was the get skill by ID. So we should go in cache manager. We are already in cache manager. So if I do get skill by ID, I get as a result my skill. I should just get this as my skill ID, which is fine. This returns a skill info, and my skill info, I hope it can give me some satisfaction with name, right? This should be the name of the skill. In name I put it in skill name. Okay, so yeah, there was this piece missing. Okay, so we populated in the skill set, which is actually an ability set, but it's okay. Okay, so we will see the name, at least here, the name of the ability. So for example, agility or crystal realm, dark realm, banana realm, and such. And then we will see. Okay, so the next cycle is, I think the data is flowing properly. The next cycle is to fill up this progress bar based on the character skills, which we have. We have some skills, even if it doesn't look like what we do. So we have to. So let's do this. Let's close this. Let's recompile this. I will have to recompile anyway the editor as well, but it's fine. So the second cycle, when we get the player's information, right? When we get the player information, where is that? Request skill ability, fine. Receive skill data, fine. And here we do all our stuff, fine. No, but there's another place here. Receive skills on client, receive skills ability on client, receive skills on client, abilities, receive skills and data. Yes, this one, skills stats data. I'm just thinking which one is the right one. So one is called receive skills abilities, and this one is only populating the window receive skills ability, which is this one, which is only populating the window, right? And that's it. Then when this is finished, we are, yeah, I think we should do it here. We should do it after this, or yeah, I think after this is the best, because this is when we are executing the first time. Yeah, I think it should be after this, because if we do it inside this one, this maybe is getting called, you know, other times, and it's not a good idea. Yeah, it's not a good idea. So we should do it outside of this, the player controller. So we do this, and then we can say, maybe we can put it even below this. So here we have to call. Here we have to call something different. We have to call something that I didn't connect yet. I have to connect it, but I have a function already made. The function is, oh my god, the function is this one, send skills list, which is inside progression manager. And this send skill list is called by a bunch of guys, but also is called by this one, handle skill. So I think the handle skill is our entry point for messages. Yes, that is the one. So now, how do we transform this one to be Unreal Engine compatible? Because this one is actually, you see, still having message entry. Message entry is the old code. We don't want the old code to, we don't want this message entry anymore. Like when we did the other handle something, let me check, but we did some other handle, like handle inventory message, you see this one, we changed it. We just removed the message, we decided a command. Okay, this is what we did. We changed the command to be an enumeration, which I don't think is a bad idea. I think it's a good idea. And then we're just passing whatever parameters we need. So we could do the same, because from this message, this handle skill, what it's doing is getting this, which is our enumeration. Okay, fine. We can transform it to an enumeration. And then what else is getting from message? Is getting, well, for the request, actually it's not getting anything else. It's getting only the client, which we have, and the type of request. So I think it's enough for now. Let me see the rest of the functions. They're doing something else. Message command. Yes, this skill selected. I think we will do this differently. I don't want to keep this code. I think this code is crazy. When you click on a skill, it's sending back the whole set of skills. I don't know why. There's probably a reason, but at the moment I don't understand that. When you buy a skill, I think it's sending again everything all the time. Yeah. If you quit, it stops speaking with the trainer. I think the most complex is when you buy a skill. So when you are training a skill, the message was containing quite some stuff. For example, was containing an XML file, kind of an XML with name, amount. Yeah, I think we can do all of this differently now, but let's do step by step. Okay, I cannot do skill training yet. So at the moment, what we need to change this function to just have an enumeration, and this enumeration will be just these three values: request, skill select, and buy, and whatever. So we should do it exactly like we did for the other one, placing it exactly in the same place. So let me see if I pick the definition of this and I check the definition of this. This is inside messages. Good idea. Good idea. So let's place it here as well. Let's place our new thingy, our new enumeration, which we will call it. How should we call it this thing? This thing is so it's related to when you request the skill. We can call it skill message enumeration or something like that. Skill message. Let me open messages.h. I think it's where I was going, right? Where is it? Yeah. The other one we called it inventory command, but I don't really like it. So let's call it skill message or GUI skill message. I think GUI skill message is even better. So it will be an GUI skill message, an enumeration for this, and it will have, I think, which are the values. Let me just check in the old code. For example, one was this, right? All open documents. Yes, I want to see where this is defined. So we are sure that we take all the values, right? We want to be sure that we take all the values so we make it compatible. Okay, that is the thing. So it's request by skill list. So this thing is. So I want to do here. So let me copy them all, and then maybe I copy paste it. We want to do a list like the one here below, right? So request. Okay, request we already have. Do we have a description of those? No, huh? No description. There was a description here, which was nice, but we don't have anymore. So we have request, we have by skill, we have skill list, and we have 3 more. We have skill selected, we have description, and we have quit. Okay, so this at least is compatible with the old code, so we will be able to see which one we are managing today. For now, we will just manage the first one, which is request. Okay. Yes. So we want to have this enumeration as a parameter of our function handle skill. Now we don't want anything else, and this will be message type. I don't know. What was the name of this thing? It was called command. Okay. Okay, can leave it command. So we switch on that, and now the difference is that we just have to change it like this. Are we managing all of them? We are managing 1, 2, 3, 4. We're managing 4, but there were 6. I don't know, maybe they are used in other cases. No idea. So we can call this function now, right? We just have to pass in the right. So this one, I think this thing we don't need anymore, right? Well, we can leave it empty maybe, because if I do it, it's not working. I can put it empty for now. It doesn't have a constructor with 0 parameters. Crap. Because I don't want to change the rest of the code now. You know, I don't want to do that. I don't want to change it. Which kind of parameter he wants? Command and command data. Okay, let's do this. Command and command data. So this will be command. Command data will be empty for now. The problem is that now command is not of the right type. Okay, let's say like this. Okay, fuck it. 0 and should be fine. Now we have to change handle skill in our progression manager heading. Progression manager H. Handle skill, where is it? Handle skill, we have to change it to command, yes, otherwise nothing will work. And when then now when we are calling this send skill list, I think we are already calling the right function. Let me see, but we are we're doing all of this. We will have to debug all of that, but then we are creating our tmap, okay, and then we are calling this function, which is receive skill values, okay. So the receive skill value is the one that we will get on the client side. So in our Unreal editor, receive skill values, we will get it in our player controller, right? So if I go receive skill values, it should exist already. Yes, it does, and it's getting a tmap as a result. We need to trigger it though. We are not triggering this. We are not triggering it yet. We need to trigger it somehow. So to trigger it, we need to be inside our progression manager, and inside of this, call handle skill. Right? We should be calling handle skill. So we have to do it from our Planescape player controller. So we need a new function. We need a new function here, which is called. I think I can change this one because this one was just a test. I don't need it anymore. We can say. This is just how can we call it? It's just request character skills. It's character skill values, right? Character skill values. Okay, let's call it a request character skill values, which is fine. It should not get any input parameter, except I mean no parameters, because anyway we know we are inside player controller, so we have a pointer to the pawn. So what we do here, we just implement it, and it will be void, and it will get this as a class, no parameters, and he has to call our progression manager what? Progression manager intelligence is sleeping. We have to call our progression manager something, handle skill, right? We need to call this basically with our character. So we have to call handle skill. Here we will do skill message request, which is the one we want. No way, IntelliSense is completely sleeping. And here we will just do get pawn, exactly like we do here. Exactly, this line is the exact line we need. Okay, right? So in this case, we are triggering the request. Now let's just print out something, because for now I want to know if it's triggered or not triggered. So let's put just a printout. And why doesn't like progression manager? Pointer to complete class. Okay, fine. So progression manager. Okay. Okay, so let's see if it compiles. We want to hot reload this. Do we want to hot reload this? This one is not changing. Yeah, I think we want to hot reload this. Yes. So I see the new function, and we do it in one shot. Yes. Let's hot reload, and so because we want to call this function, right? This request character skills values. We want to call it from the client side. You know what I would like to do? I would like to have a list of all the messages that were present in the old client, and have a kind of an Excel file or whatever where we flagged the one that we completed already. Just to say, like, this one we did. When we will arrive at the end of that list, I think we will have converted like nearly all. I mean, I'm not saying all because there is some additional function. I'm not going through messages, but there are very, very few. Very few. I think the major piece that is missing of the real core of the system is the ability to issue commands like /who or /give or /whatever die or /quit or /something. Yeah. All of that is still missing because it's another area of the code that I didn't touch yet. So okay, it is actually not possible anymore, so let's just remove it. It is also a stupid printout. It's not. And that skill is not accessible. Okay, I understand. It's not accessible. It's not accessible because this one is actually was supposed to be called only by the subscribers. But we don't care anymore about subscribers. So this one, I think all these ones, by the way, will go to public. Because all of this now is public. Why I remove this one? Allocate kill damage. I think all of this should be public. Right? Yes. We are building the foundations here, eh? We are building the foundation. So everything we are doing now will be very relevant for the future, because these are really the fundamental pieces of the server and client interaction. What he doesn't like: attempting to reference a deleted function. What the hell? What is it? Attempting to reference a deleted function. What is this? Sometimes you always get new messages, huh? Attempting to access a deleted function. No, attempting to reference. What is this? You do call a deleted function, being the copy construction of the class something whatever. I mean, what is a deleted function? Being the copy constructor of the class standard EF string. I don't know. So weird. I mean, we don't need this piece of code anyway, but if we could be so kind to just compile it, because, I mean, we don't need this to do anything, okay? We don't need this to do anything. I mean, we just want this to... I mean, why the constructor of this is not valid? I mean, it's an empty function. It's not a deleted function. It's an empty function. Oh, why doesn't like me? Message entry, message. Come on, just create a new thing. Don't care about it. What does it mean, a deleted function? It's not a deleted function. Can we just create an empty constructor and that's it? But I mean, it's similar to this one, right? It's similar to this one. I mean, it's the same. If I construct like this, I mean, what is the difference? Maybe it's protected. Maybe it's no, it's public. I mean, it constructs just. No, I can create an empty constructor. I can create an empty constructor if he likes it more. Okay, try like this. I just need this to be initialized, otherwise I have to change a lot of the code that is below, and I don't have any willingness to do it now. Because I think this message is used in multiple places down here, and I don't want to, to change this code now. I'm just calling the first piece of this code, so look at this spelling. Category. I don't know who did that. It's not me. It's not me. We can go back in the SVN and see who did this. Is he compiling now, or? He doesn't like if I create this thing like this. I don't know why. Function GUI message const declared implicitly cannot be referenced is this deleted function. What the hell does this mean? Is it deleted function? Because I'm deriving from message cracker, and message cracker is in need of something. I don't know. Okay, we have to remove this thing. Fuck it. I didn't want to touch it, but I think that there is another way for us. Message command data. Yeah, you see, it's everywhere. Well, not everywhere, it's there. Let's do this. Was command data? I just do it like this. That's it. Where do I have more of this? Yeah. And do we have anything else? Okay, maybe we compile now. Because anyway, that message is the old code, right? That we want to get rid of anyway. So yes, good skill message 0, and I don't know. I think I tried that, but it was not liking it. Is having few issues. One is that request character skill values is already defined. Request character skill value. Did I call two functions exactly the same? Request character skill values. Really, I call the function twice is impossible. Request value. So it's in controlled base, is void, is taking no parameters, so it cannot get confused, right? But why says that it's already defined? Because an implementable event. No. This one should not be an implementable event. It should be just blueprint callable. Because for implementable events, it automatically creates a dummy function for you. to be called on the blueprints. So it should not be an implementable event, it should be a blueprint callable. Okay, fine, I think that was the problem. Okay, so I think it now should compile. Should compile okay. Thank you, Amy, anyway, for trying a solution. It shows me people are alive on the other side, which is always good. Someone is following. We will do this, boys. We will do this. Sooner or later, we will have plane shift on a real engine, I tell you. I don't know how later, but sooner or later, we will have it. I don't know how much time it will take me, but sooner or later, we will have it. You're alive, huh? Hmm. Zway, I didn't send you the package yet, but I did it, so I have it. I just need to package it. I mean to put in a zip file or something and send it to you, okay? But I have all the files. I have all the files for all the races and all the characters, which can be opened by Blender. I just need to send it to you. There are still a few issues that maybe we can discuss together, because there are still few weird values that are getting passed on by I mean a kind of a layer, I don't know, like we call like a diffuse. I mean there is some diffuse color that is getting passed through, which is strange. Maybe we can check it, but okay, so we have our event receive skill value. So this one is actually this one, request character skill values. No. Why I did it like this? Super confusing. First I request, then I receive. Okay. So there is the calling function and there is the answer function. There is client requests skills request the values of all the skills of this character, and there is the server answers with the list of with the values of each skill. Okay, fine. So so first we need to call the request, and the request we said we want to do it here, right? Okay, so we can do this. Now where are we now? We are on the client, we are on the server. Where the hell are we are, so here we are back on the client. So to call this, I have to call it on the server. I cannot do it on the client. So I need to have a new event, custom event, which is called request character skill values. Okay, this one will run on the server and will be reliable, right? Okay, then we want to call that one from here. So request char something. So this is what, yeah, it's calling this. Now we could even put it down here, because actually, I mean, this is a kind of another section, you know. And there is the section that is actually requesting this. And after having this request done, the server is doing what? The server is executing this one, right? And when this is completed, we receive this event. We receive this event, and this event, we are on the server, boys, don't be fooled, we are on the server, so we have to go back on the client. So we go back on the client and we say receive share skills values on client. Right? I try to make this function name differently, because even if they do exactly the same thing, you know, sometimes if you don't do it like this, the engine messes up. If you name all the functions the same, even if one is an event, another is a function, another is server side, another is client side, it's completely confused by doing this. So you should not do it. So this one calls this one. This one should be on the owning server, on the owning client and reliable. So we got our answers, right? We got our answers from the server with this event, and we have our values. Now we need the values to be an input parameter. These are skill values. This should be exactly the same thing. So an integer, no, an integer tmap pointing to skill value structure, to skill value structure. Okay, so this one now should be able to go here. Perfect. So we get the answer on the client, and now that we have it on the client, what do? Now we need to go back to our stats window and call this receive skill stat data blah 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 blah. No. Wait a sec. We didn't do this yet. So we need a new function. So we need a new function here, which is called just a second, because I'm checking something. Did I do something stupid? No, I didn't do anything stupid. Good. So we need a new function, new event, new whatever you want, new custom event, which is called what is the name of this thing? Receive skill stats data. Let's call it receive skills value data. Right? This one should have the same parameter. Can I copy the parameters between one window and the other? Because it would be so cool if I can. So I don't have to redo the same thing 20 times. Can I copy this? No. Can I copy this line? No. Okay, anyway. It will be, I can redo it. It's not a big issue. I add a new parameter. I call it skill value. I make it integer, then I make it tmap, then I select skill value as this. Yes, exactly. Okay, so I compile this and I save it. Now our thing here is now on the client, so we are fine. We are on the client, so we can call our window. We need to get of our player controller exactly like we did here. We are already in the player controller, boys. So we just need this w stats skills window, blah blah blah, this one, get, and on this one we call receive value data, right? Receive value data. We put this here, and what? And nothing else here. So let's just comment this thing, because all of this is one block, and this block is request and receive character skill values. So basically, what are our values for all the skills? Okay, this is what is doing this thing. The one above is only populating, let's say, the window with all the possible skills, not the one that you have, but all the possible skills with value 0. The second part is asking for my character, okay? And the second part will be called multiple times, maybe, because my skills will change, while this first part will be called only once, because the skills are set for the game when the server starts. Right? Yeah, I've seen your questions, Ray, on the email. I think yes. I think it would be nice to have more targets on the face. Are you thinking both, right? So you're thinking for facial animation, and for the body as well, so that we can morph targets, like making the wings bigger or making the tails shorter or whatever, right? I just don't know the performance hit that we are going to suffer from that. So I think we can do it. I mean, maybe don't overdo it. Like, don't morph target any single bone. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there is a performance hit. I guess there is. So it's something to think about. Hey, thank you for subscribing. Someone just subscribed. Thank you. The more people we have to follow, the more people we have that follow us, the more energy we have to complete the game. Yeah, you can do more research, but at the moment, I think if you have to do one thing, that one thing will be to rig. I mean, see how we can rig few characters properly, and how we can redo some animations in Blender and see if they go through smoothly. You know, if the flow goes through smoothly one time, with all the bones, and the bones can be seen inside a real editor properly. So like if I open my Cran model, you know, if I open the base rig of my Cran model and I check the bones, I think there is a way to show the bones. Yeah, you see what happens? It still works, but it still works because we have baked animations, and it works okay. But if you look at this, you would say it would never work, right? But it's working. I mean, the animations are working properly, but it is obviously not set up the way Unreal Engine wants this to be set up. Yeah, but it works. But so I would like to see if when importing from Blender we get, you know, the right thing is. I hope we can. If we cannot, maybe I will work a bit with the Blender guys and see if we can get some help and get this thing sorted out. Or I can try to develop an exporter, improve the exporter. I mean, Blender is open source, so maybe the exporter, I mean, can be fixed somehow. But I hope I don't have to do that, because I already have so much stuff to do that if I also have to fix the exporter for Blender, it will be very bad, right? So yeah, but this one looks like this. I think also the others look a bit weird. Like if I take the lady and I go on the skeleton thingy, I think it's this one. She's a bit different because we decided to import the pieces, right? No, she looks much better, you say? She looks really much better. I don't know why, but this skeleton has been imported better than the Cran skeleton. So this is what I'm expecting to see when we import the skeleton, you know, from Blender. So just a kind of a proper skeleton. I'm not exactly sure what are these two things at the back. I think these were probably two helpers, two control helpers that we placed on the spine. But all the rest looks okay. I mean, all the other bones look pretty much okay. Also the ones in the face, I think they are looking fine. There is the mouth. The one at the back is the hair. So I think it's okay. I mean, it definitely looks much better than the crayon. Both are working though. The animation. Well, for example, there is this weird thing going to the bottom, like if it's going to 0, 0, 0, you say. This one in the middle. So I have no idea what is it. Is a bone, is the control hip. Yeah, it's a control hip. It's a controller. So sometimes the controller are getting shown as bones. Maybe it's again out. Let me click on this one. Yeah, there is a helper. HLP stands for helper, so it is a helper of the spine top and helper of the spine bottom. Yeah, these were all helpers. So anyway, these are not weighted and are not messing up our animation in any way. So those are like neutral thingies, right? Maybe we could even delete them. We could even delete them from the model. I think it makes no difference. Yeah. But anyway. Yeah, it's not the root. Is yeah, it's just a bunch of helpers that I placed. What I can do, I can show you maybe later on the let's say what I did, but we have mm, just checking one thing. So I'm on another PC for a second. I think I have. Cannot find it at the moment. Ah, there it is. I found it. For example, let's take the best model that we have. The best model that we have, I think, is the null thrifty male. For this one, I have created the Blender file. Yeah, I created the Blender file. And yes, there are still a few things that are messed up, but this is what I'm going to give you. Okay, so I'm going to give you the model already in Blender, already with the right size. So already scaled properly with all the pieces that were originally weighted on the model. So for example, for her we have the robe, which is this one. We have the chest plate, the torso plate. That is the one that is in addition. You know, is the overlay. You see, it's an additional piece. And then the basic geometry, so feet, leg, torso, arms, etc. And then there are also some variations, some hair variations, so which were let's say part of the original model. So here there are 1, 2, 3, yeah, there are 3 or 4 hair variation, one on top of the other. Right. This one looks wrong though. This one looks bad. Something happened. I think there are some polygons which are inside out. Okay. I have to check this one. This hair number 0 seems not to be correct. This one seems to be okay. This one seems to be okay. Hair number 2 is fine. Hair number 3 is fine. Hair 0, which is this one, for some reason is messed up. It's missing some polygons in the front. I don't know why. I will check. Maybe it's not back face culling, because back face culling I tried to remove it. Ah no, yes, it is. It is. Okay. Just some faces are flipped, so I will maybe export it again and normalize the flip, or I can just maybe go in edit mode here and change it. I don't know. Anyway, one or the other. But yeah, maybe there are still some small errors, so we should check. We should be sure that we are checking if everything is okay. So you should check that, but in general, it should be fine. Now the textures, I don't know if I should give you also all the textures, but you can take them from the game if you want, or we can. I have all the textures in original format. We should import into Unreal only the original textures, not the DDS, because the DDS are already compressed, and if we compress them again, it becomes a mess. Yes, the bodies will be separate because we want to swap pieces. In particular, we want to swap the torso armor for now. And we want to be able to change the texture to the single pieces. So like the hands may have a different texture than the arms and such. So yes, we want to still keep the separate pieces, I think. The hair for sure. The eyes, I don't know. The eyes we could probably merge it, because we have the eyes as a separate item, because in theory it could move. You could animate it, it looks up and down, left and right, and so you just rotate the balls, whatever. These two thingies, right? You just move them up or down or whatever. Which, by the way, in this case are not made as spheres, and so it's not that easy, but okay. Yeah, it's a pity there is still this error. I don't know why there is this error on the edge, but all the others should be fine. I mean, all the other models should be okay. But I didn't do a full pass, right? I mean, I didn't do a full check. I converted them all. I did some visual checks, but like this one, for example, has the robe, and as his torso armor is plate mail. Is plate, so if I remove the torso, should then be fine, right? One thing that I've seen, that is the thing that I wanted to tell you, is that for some reason I'm getting some weird colors. So, for example, look at the arms. He has this diffuse as pink. No idea why. He has this diffuse as pink. Now, if I go here and I change it to be, for example, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, it becomes the original color again, right? So there is, for some pieces, like the plate is okay, so it's already 0.58, 58, 58, so it's a neutral color, it's a gray color. For other pieces, like I shown you like the hands, look at the hands. The hands are an actual color, are not neutral, so they show a bit yellow, and that is not good. I don't know why is this. So in the export there was probably some settings, but I researched these settings. I didn't find any settings, so I think we have to normalize these colors, because to remove these colors completely and decide so for example, you see that the feet are yellow, completely yellow. I don't know why, but if I go 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, they become again normal. So in addition to the texture, there is a bit of a diffuse color. I don't know why. No idea. Anyway, this is just to show you that we have the assets, and I just need to package them. Maybe just do some last minute checks, to check that the geometry is fine and everything is fine, and then I will send to you. The texture are actually mapped to my local files. Is it better if we pack them? The problem is that they are pretty big, because for every character we have the leather, we have the base textures, then we have the leather armor, the medium armor, which is basically the chainmail, and then we have the plate. So it's 4 textures for the full body for each character, plus we have the different faces. The faces are usually 3 or 4, plus we have the hair, and sometimes the hair has their own textures. They have maybe 2 or 3 textures, and I think that's it. No, plus we have all the normal maps, so, and all the normal maps of the one above. So if I pack all of that into a single file, maybe the file will be 100 megabyte. I don't know. I mean, one character. I have no idea how big it will be, but it's a lot of texture, I tell you. At the moment, I'm not having a very good management of that, if I can say. So I'm keeping some texture in place. Other texture have been made by other people, so I collected during the years the original files. I try to keep all the original files as much as I can, but sometimes they send me zip files or texture named in a different way, or they just send me the DDS, and then I have to go back and find the original. So it's not very easy. With multiple people contributing during the years, has been pretty hectic. So I guess I have the majority of the original one. I'm not 100% sure I have all the textures. I'm not sure of that. But I have all the original ones, not DDS. Because some people were having access to the repository directly to ESBN, and sometimes they were loading only the DDS and were not sending me the original file. But I've been very, let's say, paranoid on that, and so I've been chasing people a lot to get the original files. And so I think I have the majority, if not all. Okay, back to this thing. So here we are receiving the data values from, we are already on the client, we are receiving the data values. Now we have to decide what to do with this data value. So what do we have to do? We have, for each of this, we have to cycle. Now there is a T-map. How do I cycle on a T-map? Can I get the length? Can I have a, what is the select? Select, option 1. Wow, I don't know what is this. Looks very cool, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but looks super cool. No, I want to just cycle on all the elements of this map. I need key and value, key and value, key and value. Should I just get the length and then get the element at? It seems I cannot get the element at, which is very annoying. Don't tell me I cannot cycle. I cannot loop. Don't tell me I cannot loop on it, because I need to loop on it. I have contains, find, keys. Ah, yes, it gets all the keys, so that's the trick. Okay, so we get all the keys, and then we loop on the keys, because the keys is actually an array. Okay, perfect, exactly what I needed. For each, okay, so we get all the keys, which are basically the skills ID, and then we loop, right? And for each one, what we want to do, we want to get the other, we want to get this guy, which is the one that we saved before, with the mapping between the IDs and the actual widgets. And we want to do what? And we want to want to get, can I break this element somehow? No, because it's array element. Yeah, but these are my keys, right, which are integers. Okay, so with this one I want to get my value. I want to get from this, I want to find array element, array index. I don't care about the array index, I care about the array element. Okay, so I want to find my value, and I think I want to break this, and what this thing has? This thing has the ID, the base value, the current value. Okay, nice. What is the ID? But why I called it ID and not something different? ID, thank you. Why I called it this way? Is a skill ID, a rank ID, a banana ID? Skill. So there is a skill value structure. So a skill value structure is this one. ID. I think it would be the skill ID. Why didn't call it skill ID if it's a skill ID? I think it's a skill ID anyway. It cannot be anything else, right? I don't think it's a random ID that I placed. Let me see when I create my tmap. Skill value. Yeah, it's the skill ID. Okay. Skill ID, rank, and buffed. Okay, fine. So what we want to do, we want in this thing that we saved, we want to find a key. No, we want to find, sorry, a value which has the skill ID as a key, right? And this will give us our progress skill stat window, which is managing this particular skill, right? And thanks to this, what we can do, we can call, now we need a method on that window, which we don't have yet. So we need a method on our skills and stats, right? What is this mess? Did I do this? Oh my god. Okay, so we want a method which is not the setup progress skill widget, but is something else which we can call, we create a new event. No, a new function. Why a new event? I still don't get too much the difference between event and functions, but so do we want an event or do we want a function? Say the difference that the events can be called client server, the function stays where you call it from. I think a function is fine. Even if I like events, I like this nice red arrow, but I think a function is fine. So we add a new function, and we call it set player skill value, which actually is called rank in our game. So maybe I should just call it set player rank for skill. Set player rank for skill on skill. I don't know. Okay, skill value. Let's give it a skill value. And here, this thing should get few parameters though, huh? Should get few parameters. Well, the skill ID we don't really care because our window, our progress skill stat is only for one ID. So we know it already. We know what is the ID. What we need the base value base value and the current value. Why there are two? Because one is the base for the character, the second one is the one that is buffed. So for example, if you have an item, so this will be the current value. If you have an item that is buffing your strength, you know, your base value will be 10, your current value will be 15, because this item is buffing you 5 points in strength. So here we get both from the server, because I did it in a way that we can get both, which is nice. Speaking about big file sizes, do you know how much it was the one paragon character size? I mean, one paragon character in file size, because you know that Paragon released, Unreal Engine released the Paragon characters, right, for free. So I don't know if you've seen it, but Real Engine Paragon art released or something like that. I don't know. Yes, they released the 12 million worth of Paragon assets for free, and we can use them, by the way, but I don't think we can use them at the end. Did you see that as well? No. So I don't know if you know Paragon, but Paragon was a MOBA game, but in 3D. So like Dota or League of Legends, but in 3D. And unfortunately, the project failed. It failed because he couldn't find his own space on the market somehow. And so they decided to close the project. They decided to close Paragon as a project. And they closed it, but when they closed it, they decided to release all the assets for free. Be careful, because for free means that we can use it only with Unreal Engine games, right? So we can use it only with Unreal Engine, which means that then if our game is super successful, we have to pay the royalties to Epic Games, but it's fine. So you can use this. So they released the assets, and I did some. I downloaded them actually, and I checked them. I think I still have them on this PC, and they have like 12 characters or so, and one character. You see, you get everything. Maybe it could be interesting, you know, to see how the character is set up in Unreal Engine, because they have the full setup of the character. I mean, you get the full setup. You get the rig, you get the animations, you get the textures. The only thing that I've seen, you see, these are all the characters they released, so you have all of that. The thing I've seen is that one character was like multiple gigabytes. One character was multiple gigabytes of file, because he had like insane maps, like insane occlusion maps, specular maps, bump maps, whatever maps, Apple maps, I don't know. So, and yeah, the download is huge. I think the download is like 10 gigabytes or 12, I don't know. But if you want to just download it, just to see it, open it up, and see maybe how these are set up. Could be interesting, right? Yeah, it's like 15 gigabytes or something. Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. So I don't think we want in an MMO you to have one character with 1 gigabyte, because then when you have a kind of a family reunion or the reunion of the guild, you know, you have 100 people in the same place, all with different skins. There will be no PC able to run this thing. But so obviously they were thinking to maximum 6 characters on screen or 10 characters on screen, you know, so which is the typical, I don't know, 5 versus 5 or something like that. So. Okay, let's move on. I'm getting distracted a bit, but it's nice. I like to discuss a bit with you guys why we do that, why we do this. So so we need to create a function. This function we will call it from here, which will be actually setting the yeah, we shall be setting the value, the current value of the skill. Now I have no idea how to do it at the moment, because this means that we have to take, I have no idea how to do it. For now, let's just put a number somewhere, okay, so that we see that this base value is properly set, right? Or even less, even less. For now, let's just print out this value that we get from the server, and we see if everything is working okay. No, but I would like to have it in the widget though. I would like to have it in the widget. So I will change the description. I will change what I will change. I will change. In which window am I? I'm in this one, right? I'm in this one. So my, yeah, I will change the skill description. Why not? I will change this, and I will set the text to, I zoomed in a lot. I don't know if you like it more. I did it for you so you can see better. But let's just put for now the base value, okay, as an input. So at the top, each of our skills will have a number for now, which is equal to whatever our character has, okay, and so we find this, and we call on our window. This is the window, right? Yes. Yes. No. Is this one? Set player skill value. So I should be able to call set player skill value. Why this is as an event? Did they mess up something? It's not an event, it's a function. Okay. Is it normal that does this small arrow? I was expecting to see something like this, like function, but okay, maybe it's not. So, and we do this for each. Yes, we do this for each element, right? What do we want to do? We want to set the base value and the current value. Right? And then what? And then nothing else. Then it is what we want to do. Then it is what we want to do. So, we receive the keys from the server. We extract all the keys. We loop for each of the key, getting our elements. We get our skill, the skill we want to update in the UI. We get the mapping that we saved in this previous step here, that tells us which is the window, which is the widget which is managing the particular skill, and we are calling into that widget the function to update it. Should we also print out something maybe so that let's just print out something as well. Updating skill and then here we put whatever the base value. Well, I also would like to have the ID. Okay, it's fine. Let's do it like this. We see if we print out something. Okay, I saved all of this. Now to test it, I need to do something different. I need to close the editor and just recompile clean, because I want to recompile clean one time. I change my source. You see how many auto reloads we have? I don't want any of that. So let's recompile clean and see. Yeah, I think they Yeah, I don't know, I think they went like super, super high level things. I don't know. I think one character of more than 1 gigabyte is weird, but I didn't analyze it much because I didn't have the time. But I think it would be very interesting to analyze for you or for anyone that is, let's say, more of an artist than a coder. I mean, for me, it was not very interesting because anyway, I will not work on that, at least not in the short time. I hope there is someone else helping me on that side, on the art side. Okay. Let's see if we. Okay, it compiles, which is nice. Now we launch the server. Let's go. And we recompile again. Yes. We recompile the bridge DLL. And we see what happens. So now, what I'm expecting, apart from crashes, but what I'm expecting is that the Windows goes up, we get the values, and then immediately after, which I don't even know if we will see it because I think will be super quick. But anyway, immediately after we get the window updated again with our own values. And for now, we will only have a number in the top left, nothing else, which will be our current rank in that ability. Then if that works, we will start to work on the progress bar and make the progress bar working properly. Should not be that hard, I think. Should not be that hard. No, should not be too hard. Okay, setting the client. Ready? I think the first update worked, the second one didn't. The first worked because now we get a name. You see, we have a name in each one. From crystal to dark wine. But we didn't get, unless my character, ouch, I think the server crashed. I think the server crashed. May have some small bugs here and there. There may be some bugs. Let's see. Okay, which one is the server? Not this one. This one. The server crashed. It crashed. So it did request save abilities, yes, and we have seen it on the client. Then he went for the second one, but he fucked up on handle skill. So progression manager 247. I think I know the problem. Progression manager 247. Come on. So I went inside our request. So he called properly the server. He did this, but when he tried to clear the skill cache, I think he got a null pointer or something. Because you see, he's trying to clear the cache and the memory is not valid. I think the reason is that at the moment we don't yet have any cache. I think this pointer is not valid, and yeah, most likely. I don't even know when we are building the skill cache, by the way. When we are building it. Because this is done by the progression manager. Progression manager, so character is for sure valid because it's checking, you know. Why we don't do just if character and character get skill cache, you know? So we are sure that we do it only if the skill cache is valid, first of all. But I think we may have a problem with the skill cache that it has not been initialized anywhere. I don't even know when this is supposed to be initialized. Let me check in the old code. If I do match case, match word, what? It's like this lowercase. Yes. Let me try to see if this initialized anywhere. I think we didn't. It should be inside a PS character actually. I want to find something outside of skill cache. Okay, here we have in the skill window. Okay. I'm searching a place where it's initialized, but I cannot find it at the moment. I mean, it should be inside PS character in the constructor of PS character, I think. But okay. In PS character.cpp is not there, which is weird. Very weird. It's not here anywhere. I mean, I have it in PS character.h, right? Is here. We have it here. So is actually, but is not initialized by PS character. It's not initialized by PS character. I think it's probably initialized by progression manager whenever we are executing this function. Let me see. Let me see. Skill cache. Skill cache. Where is this? It's a lot of code here. It's not here though. I mean, where is this skill cache initialized? Okay. Because obviously, if it's not initialized, it will not work. It's not here. It's not in Progression Manager. I'd be surprised of this. It's not in Progression Manager. It's not in PS Character. Where the hell is this thing set? I mean, it's not here. It's not in PS Character. Was it in the freaking gem object? I mean, gem in the old code? Maybe it was inside gem somewhere? Could be. Let me see if there is a skill cache here anywhere. No. No. Why? Okay, let's check skill cache, okay? So maybe there is a name which is different or whatever. There is a class called skill cache, which is a full file, which maybe as an init or something, right? Maybe it's getting initialized somewhere. So, well, as a constructor, fine. Maybe we can just search if we are initializing it like this anyway. But it should be part of Progression Manager or wait a second. Let's search it this way. No way. Zero. Nada. Not in PS Character. Not the only function is this one, which says returns a pointer to the skill cache for this character. But how is it getting set? I have no idea. I mean, it should be constructed somewhere. Like, it should be a constructor saying new PS skill cache somewhere in the code. It should be somewhere. No? It should be. Should we do entire project? Oh my god, entire project. Okay, let's do PS skill cache entire project. Okay. Let's do this. Let's search everywhere, any source file. Okay, here we are inside skill cache. We don't care. We don't care of any of this because it's inside skill cache and you already know it's there. Now here we are in PS character. There is only the declaration of this variable. That's the only thing it does. It says, hey, I have a skill cache. Okay, fine. Here, which is inside Progression Manager, is getting the skill cache, which is a pointer, and is expecting this to be valid because you see it's using it immediately. It's not even checking for it. So if this is not valid, GG. Now we have some inside the skill window. So here we are client side and we are in the skill window. Now Here we are inside a message that was going client to server in the old code, which was actually sending the skill cache as part of this. Really? Okay. Interesting. So we're sending the skill cache from client to server and vice versa somehow. Here is our skill cache.h, which we know already. There is the same message. Is it the same message? Let's see if we find it in any other places. No more occurrence. So it's updated only through the messages. Really? But it should be built somewhere at the beginning, right? You should have a place where this is getting built. I mean, there should be a place where this is getting built. He's always assuming that it's valid, you know, because it says, oh, if skills, blah, 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 skill size, skill cache size, plus, blah, blah, blah. So he's always assuming somehow that our skill cache is a good one. If skills, right, else skill cache dot write message. Yeah, but he's always assuming that this thing is populated somehow. Okay. I don't know what to search for because there are only two strings. One is the variable that is called skill cache, and the other is the class name, right? I search for both, and you see, it's always assuming that it's valid because it's always calling functions on top of it. But there must be a place where it makes a new of this freaking skill cache. I'm searching the entire solution for the variable name. To string get data. Return iterator. Again, is assuming it exists. Here is the declaration. Here is the declaration. And he has no default or anything. So unless this CS list, I mean, unless just the type by itself was automatically valid, this could be. This could be. That is, CS list was automatically a valid one. That may be the reason. He's just doing iterators on the cache. I mean, like if it's valid all the time, and it's not taking care of that. So here we are inside the same class. Skill cache, get item by skill, get progression point. Skill cache clear. Here we are in the window, in the skill window. Clear, clear, apply. flash. I didn't see a single assignment up to now of this freaking skill cache. Just using it is never populating it. No more occurrences. In the world, all sources. Okay. So let's assume that CS list, which I think is the only, at this point, is the only solution. That this PS skill cache is valid by default, in the sense that our what is called our this one, our skill cache, probably the CS list was originally initializing it properly from the beginning. Okay, I think that's the only reason, right? So this one was not a pointer, but was just okay. So let's assume that for a second. So if we assume that for a second, yes, but our character doesn't have as a pointer to this. Our character is a pointer to this. Our PS character no, it's not a pointer. Is why? It's not a pointer. Why I have it as a pointer here in my PS character? It was not a pointer in the old code. What the hell? Who placed the pointer here? Who placed the pointer here? It's not me. It's me. Okay. I don't know. Why PS skill cache is now a pointer? It was not a pointer. What the hell? Why is this? Okay, but it's fine. I think we found our problem. So let me just check one thing. We are inside PS character. We should be under bulk objects. PS character.h. Let me check. Let me check when it was changed. So many times. I don't think I can do a check. I don't know. But anyway, it was changed for some reason. Let me open this version and see. It was a pointer already here in this version. It was a pointer already in this version. Let me go back like 1 month. Yes, it was already a pointer here as well. Let me go back at the beginning. I don't know, maybe it was a wrong conversion. I did some mass substitution and because sometimes when I was converting the code at the beginning it was a bit, it's always been a pointer here. I don't know why. So I probably did some mass substitution and I substituted this as well and I messed up. Okay, fine. It's not a pointer, right? It's not a pointer. So what does it change? What does this change? Yes, I mean, in the old code was not a pointer. I don't know why I made it a pointer here. I have no idea. Maybe there was some code that I was just commenting out and was not working, and I just decided to. I don't know. There is probably a reason. We will find out very soon, because probably the reason is that some piece of the code will not compile now, and we will need a pointer to fix it, or something like that. Because I had to change the old CS list to T double linked list, or whatever it's called. Okay, let me see. PS character uses undefined class skill cache. Undefined class, boys. Oh, we miss an include. Interesting. Okay. No suitable conversion from skill cache. So also this method, for example, maybe I changed also this method. Yes, I did. No idea why. I did some weird changes. Maybe if I go in one of my videos, I will find out why. Maybe I was saying, what is this cache? I will never use it. Or I will use it in the future. Or I will never use it. I think I said something like, I will never use it, so let's just make it compile and we will do the cache differently, or something like that. And then I forget about it. I forgot about it, and it's nearly midnight. I think I will go soon. But we can do some work tomorrow evening and Saturday and Sunday. Tomorrow evening, I'm not sure if I'm available though. I have to check. Because there were some people that wanted to organize something, and I have to check. I don't know. Maybe. He compiled. He probably compiled. Okay, so I guess not being a pointer, it will be much better. I don't know. Let's just launch it and see what it does. So I compiled that. Let me just clear out the DLLs and recompile, and then launch it. Yeah, but the server completely crashed. I mean, it went into that function and it crashed. Should we just launch it in debug mode? I think so. Because I think this thing is so complex. Let's just launch it in debug mode and see what it wants to do. The first time the cache will be empty, so it should really not do anything. Okay, let's launch it in debug. And see what it does. There is this feeling that when it takes more time to compile, you will get better results. No? There is more expectations because it's taking a lot to compile, so it's doing something good. Okay, I will send it. I will send it tomorrow. Okay, I will send it tomorrow or tonight. But tonight starts to be late, so maybe I will not be able to. What do we do with all those diffuse channels? I was thinking to, I don't know, make a script that somehow removes them, but I'm not sure. We just leave them because I think Unreal is pretty smart on that. So if we have a color, it will probably import the color. You know, I don't think it will ignore it. I think we will find out in game things that are weird colors. So I think we should clear it out. Also, I don't know that intensity because intensity of the diffuse, I don't know if we should place it to 0.5 or 1 or whatever. It changes the lights because if you put it to 0.5 is less bright, if you put it to 1 is very bright. Uh-oh, we had other breakpoints here. Okay, so let's see what it does, if it's still crashing or not. Handle scale, okay. No, it's not crashing. So let's try to go. Okay. I said let's go, but boom! It freaking died. Oh, we are a bit in a weird place. Deprecated code path, net serialized item. Oh my god, where are we? Where are we, boys? Oh my god, we are inside process internal call functions. GG. It's not a piece of code I can debug actually. Maybe, I don't know. It's trying to serialize something that is empty. It's inside UMap property. So it's trying to serialize a T map and it's fucking up for some reason. Metadata. I don't know what it's trying to replicate. New object. New function. It's trying to replicate some of our data. Probably the T map going back, but it's not really working. Okay, I don't want to debug this because it's internal Unreal. I mean, please. Let's do this. Let's just let it go until send skills list. Let's go inside of this, and because I think it arrives here, and see if there is any error that we catch in this. And then it arrives here. Receive skills value. Okay, let's put a breakpoint here and see what happens. I mean, if we are getting garbage, I mean, if you're trying to send out, complete garbage, or if you are sending out something that is meaningful, because maybe it's a null pointer, that was something that is not. I don't know. Let's check what we are trying to send out. In theory, we are trying to send out this T map of int and skill value. Which is what I need, by the way. You reassigned all the materials. Okay, 3 days. Okay. I think I will upload the package and send you a link. I will upload it to the, I don't know, PlanShift website, or I send you a link. Should not be too big anyway. If you don't send the textures, it's not huge. It's not too big. Okay. See what happens, boys. Okay, here we are before sending our skill map to the client. I mean, it looks okay. It's a skill map. It's a skill map. Yes, 69 items. The first item is key 0, ID 0, skill value 0, skill value 0. Everything is 0, but anyway. I don't know why. The first one is ID 1, skill 0. But for example, number 3 has a skill value 1 and skill current value 1. So it seems to me they are reasonable values. Is it too big and is messing up? I don't know. ID 22, like ID 22 we have something? No. I mean, it seems correct. To me, it seems correct. Obviously, the client disconnected meanwhile, but I mean, net serialized item. You know what, guys? I think I will stop the stream here. I will try to figure it out somehow. I mean, to me, we're just passing in a T-map. I mean, we are not doing anything crazy. My assumption that T-map are RPC enabled. I hope they are. If not, there would be a big pity, because it means that our logic will not work. But yeah, do we want to search this thing on the internet? Just 1 second and see if anyone else has a similar problem. Net serialized item, deprecated code path. Then we also add tmap as a keyword because we are working on tmap. I'm seeing something I don't like. Tmap replication still not supported. Tmap replication seems not supported. I'm doing something wrong. As mentioned here already. Blah blah blah. Ouch. I don't know. It seems that they say that it's not supported. This guy solved it using usestructs. Yeah, but I don't like usestructs. I like to have tmap because I want to find. Really, tmap is not supported in replication? Come on. Come on. Really? Multiple people are saying that tmap is not replicated, boys. Multiple people. Replication is not in this list. Crap. Crap, because we needed the, I mean, I constructed my code like this, so I mean I can change it obviously, but I can change it. But okay, it's only this part because the other part is okay. But this part is not working, so what can I do? I can do, well, I can do an array or I can do a structure. It's just annoying because then searching will be slower, you know, because the T map is good because he has a good indexing of the key. Yeah, why it compiles then? I don't understand why it compiles and then it doesn't allow you to, because there is a blueprint implementable event, right? And I have a tmap in my signature and it doesn't compile, right? I mean, it compiles but it doesn't work. It compiles but it crashes. It's a bit annoying. Should I post another question? But I think there are already many questions. These guys are saying the general solution for that is just create a struct containing your data and additional field which is your key. Then instead of having a tmap, you have a t-array you can replicate. You can also wait for the one rep event to fill a tmap on the client server for easier access. If your data are constant, you can also replicate the keys. I mean, obviously you can do it in an array. I mean, I'm fine, but okay. Anyway, boys, I think it's time to go. I think we did very good progress because despite this problem we have with tmaps, the population of the data works properly, the reading on the database works properly, the logic on the client side is good, and it gives us the right data. So we just need to fix this piece of replication, this missing piece of replication here, and maybe just change it to an array or something and pass it that way. We'll be a bit slow in searching, but who cares? Well, it's 69 items anyway, so it is a bit of items to search, but okay. And then I think this piece will be done, right? So I think we can finish it tomorrow evening if I'm here. I still have to decide because there is some friends who want to do stuff tomorrow afternoons, tomorrow evening. So if they want to go out tomorrow evening, okay, I will not be here, and we'll see each other on Saturday. I will post anyway the link and the time in the live stream. Okay. With that said, thank you for watching and see you very, very soon. I will leave you with this, which is always a nice structure. You know? We can do this!